What challenges did you face from a governance standpoint? Because I think our brethren on the public side, that's the piece that makes it very interesting. I don't know if people know the story. There was a mayor in Santa Clara, California, and there was a gentleman named Tom Perkins. And Tom Perkins, John Doerr, Fred Adler were the guys who created venture capital. And they went to the mayor and they said, we need you to do one thing for us. Help us get a company set up in 24 hours. These are the two things I think made Silicon Valley really important. They set up a company in 24 hours. They got a bank account in 24 hours. And I can tell you, trying to get a bank account in Dubai, forget 24 hours. You'll be lucky if you do it in 24 months. You know? But this is the lessons you have with what you navigated might be great wisdom for the people on the policy side on what can you change and make nimble and agile for us. Perhaps you want to start?
I can start.
I mean, India is a great example of a very bureaucratic country, right?
And in not just India, I think globally, two things that I have seen from a policy standpoint are one, to what Chip mentioned earlier, is for-profit education is by default considered evil, right? And that's taken a lot of work for us to change in terms of perception of the value that we can bring partnering with governments, with corporates, with universities, in terms of how to build a scale education system that can deliver outcomes. And I think that's massive effort that's still underway. And that's the one big thing that we continue to fight. The second thing, this is more India specific, but also when I start looking at the US and other markets, I think there are too many regulatory shifts very often, right? And there is lack of clarity on what can be done. So I'll give you an example from India where when a university wants to do something online and wants to offer online programs, the regulations around who it can partner with, be it 2U or be it Upgrad or whoever else, and what they can work with that partner on are extremely complicated to understand and figure out, which obviously makes universities and all the stakeholders very nervous, and they stay away from getting into any trouble with the regulator. So I think it just stifles innovation and the speed to which these solutions can be scaled. I think those are the two key challenges that we have grappled with, not just in India, but also globally.
What about with Kareem?
Yeah, look, when we started in 2012, the governments weren't sure how to think of startups and technology startups. So we had the same challenges that any ride-hailing business had globally. The governments were trying to shut us down, and we were trying to explain to them why this is good, how this works, and so forth. But honestly, in the last 3 years, that has completely flipped. I think the governments, at least in the region, see technology and entrepreneurship as a means to achieve a lot of their objectives around youth employment, around digital economy, diversifying away from hydrocarbons. And they've actually come in full force to try and support the ecosystem. Now, I think a couple of things where we could still see an improvement. One, similar to what you mentioned, there's a lot of ambition and goodwill, but some of the initiatives and policies are conflicting and siloed. So there is some need to harmonize different things from different parts of the government to make sure that they work more consistently for startups. Second, this region is quite large collectively, but many of the countries in the region are quite small. So if you really want to build a large technology platform and make the investments that are required to build these platforms, you almost need to have a regional platform. But it's still quite complicated to expand from one country to another country. You have to register legal entities, you have to get bank accounts, you have to get licenses. It is almost as if you're starting a business in California, and to go to New York, you had to redo everything that you did in California to start the business. And just imagine doing it in 50 states to target the US, right? That's unfortunately how the region works today.
San Francisco to LA and the different stuff there, right?